So we talked about old-fashioned HTML static websites and how they were built using single files. We talked about web apps and how they use files that contain instructions about how to do things that are useful and provide information back to the user. I'd like to talk more now about web apps and different concepts about how you might go about constructing these instructions. So I'm going to draw for you the idea of these files, or dig deeper into what these files might look like. So one of these files in the old days might have just contained all of the instructions. So again, user comes in and they're going to hit one of these files on the web server, and if they might have hit go on a form or hit the entry button on a form, and the website, this set of instructions, maybe it was ASP or maybe it was Ruby on Rails or now Node.js, it doesn't matter, they all act in a similar way. You might have just said, take the form data in your instructions, all in the language of all in the language used within that technology. So take form data. You might then say update the database with that form data, and then you'll say render page that looks like this. Okay, so each of these is a separate instructions, but we would put them sequentially, all from top to bottom in the same page, all in the language of the code we wanted that we were most comfortable with. Okay, so MVC, which stands for Model View Controller, and you should definitely Google this and learn a bit more about it, is a concept that separates these ideas so that you sort of neaten up the way that you're working. So you can think about it maybe as three different files: a model, a view, and a controller. So what will happen now is, under this concept, is a user will sort of hit your web app, and they've done so by hitting a button in the view. Now when they submit the form on the view, the controller, a different set of code, the controller will have some instructions about what to do when that particular page has been hit or that particular condition's been met. So the controller will say update the database, and the database controls, the database contains several tables or structures that reflect a model. So the model is, you might imagine that any object that we want to keep in our app conceptually is modeled. So if, let's say, a driver's license, and we want to store the details of a driver's license in our app, the driver's license has a model, and the model needs to contain all of the things that a driver's license has. So we'll say that we're going to store the expiry date, a photo, the address and the name of the person. Each of these are aspects of the model. So the name, the photo, all of these are kept here. And we tell our app what a driver's license is supposed to look like. That's normally matched in the view. In this case, when the form is clicked and they want to update their driver's license, then we'd have some matching form stuff that matches the model. So we'll have the name here, and a thing for them to upload their photo maybe. And when they do that, the controller says, oh, I see an incoming name and a photo. Let's write that into the database, and then let's update the view and give it back to the user. So these three things are separated in order that our code stays nice and neat and easier to work with. Now, Node.js, and in particularly Express, is exactly this. It's a model view controller idea.